unemployment is one of the biggest things that has hit the Caribbean, and especially the Eastern Caribbean. If you are from Jamaica, if you are on Turks and Caicos, Eastern Caribbean, or Curacao, then this episode I'm going to bust the myth that there is no data for analysis in the Eastern Caribbean. And this time we're going to talk about unemployment data in the Eastern Caribbean. So stay with me. Hi, my name is Rooney Gamera and welcome to the Data Analysis and Policy Show, the show where we turn data into analysis so that you can create the right policies. If this is the first time you are here, I have something great for you, and I'm creating something really incredible. And if you want to know more about what it is about, go to www.caribbeanstrategicboardroom.com/waitlist, because I will be looking for 50 people only to participate in this incredible thing that I'm creating right now. And it has to do with data. And one of the biggest struggles that my students tell me is, Rooney, where do you get all that data? If you are in Turks and Caicos, Jamaica, Eastern Caribbean, Curacao, I want you to relax because I've created economic models for all those 12 islands in the Eastern Caribbean, in Curacao, in Jamaica, Turks and Caicos. And one of the things the things that I do is I collect data and I look for data. And today we're going to talk about unemployment data. Yesterday, look at the episode of yesterday if you have not looked at it. We have talked about census data, about many data for Curacao, and during 14 days this month I'm going to show to you that there is enough data, and if you stay with me you're going to see where to get that data. Okay, let me show you my screen right away because I have a great report. Let me show you my screen. I'm looking at this report, and this report is the report of IMF. It is a working paper. You can find it on the internet. It is explaining the high unemployment in the ECCU countries. So as I'm studying the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, I'm studying Jamaica, and I'm studying Turks and Caicos and Curacao, and we are still building more and more islands of the Eastern Caribbean and the Caribbean. Then I'm pretty much happy with these kind of reports, because people often say we don't have data. And look at this whole report, 32 pages, and in this report is a recent report for 2019 where they have created an overview of what is happening in the Eastern Caribbean. So, do you still believe that there is no data? While this data is available over there on the internet, do you still believe there is no data? Comment below, because there are certain people who believe and they are complaining all the time that there is no data, and they can't find data for doing their analysis. And there is another part, my community, my students, who have data. They know where to get data. They know exactly what kind of data. They are not struggling with data, and they are using their data efficiently. Because let me tell you one thing, if you have an economic model, that's the fastest way to do your economic analysis. And in an economic model, you have all the data organized. You have the data organized. And today we're looking at data. So let me go back to my screen to show you this wonderful kind of data. Now, I've already seen this report. Let me go to page 11. Now on page 11, you see the formal employment by sector in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. And okay, we don't have data till 2019, but we still have 13 data points of the past. So look at the formal employment between agriculture, hotels, others, construction, and public administration. Now what you see here, for instance, Dominica as a high part is in gray, and it is the public administration. And you still have construction and agriculture, a little bit of agriculture over there. And you have in Grenada, you have more agriculture, more construction, and you have agriculture. You have the other islands, and it is fluctuating. So if you're doing some analysis and you want to know what happened with the different sectors in the past, then this is information which is very, very worthwhile for you. Now let's move to the next sheet, and here we see former employment is selected sectors in the ECCU. So here we have taken public sector, the hotel and restaurants, construction, and agriculture. Now look at that, a huge amount is in construction. So probably Antigua and Barbuda during these years, they were having construction, a lot of construction. That's why the boom went up. That's why construction is going up there. And you see here agriculture. So if you're looking at this, my question would be, because this show is about data analysis and policy show, let's look at the analysis just a little bit. Why did agriculture move up during 2014 and 2004 and 2006 in Antigua and Barbuda? That would be my question, because analyzing the graph, I already see a huge boom over there. Now, what happened in the construction boom between 2004 and 2010? What happened in the construction boom, and what was the reason why there was a construction boom in Antigua and Barbuda? And maybe they built a lot of hotels, they built a lot of apartments, etc. So you should see the economic development also in here, because employment is a result of economic activity. So by looking at the graphs, you are already analyzing it. Now, in Dominica, I see a flat development. A flat development in Dominica. So why is there in Antigua and Barbuda this development, and in Dominica there is such a flat development in there? Okay? Another way here. Interesting. Why in Grenada you see the agriculture moving down? It has a downward trend. So there is a downward trend between 2000 and 2006 in Grenada. Why is that? What happened in agriculture? And it is actually stabilized. It has just stabilized between 2006 and 2012. It has been stable. While at the same time you see that hotel and restaurants went up a little bit here, and Antigua and Grenada didn't have a huge boom like Antigua and Barbuda. Okay, so what you see here also is that in the public sector went up. So the public sector, which is the blue line, went up during 2003 and 2008. Now, of course, if this public sector went up in Grenada, that means that the expenditures of the government has been much higher, has been growing up, etc. You see, I'm looking at the figures and I'm already analyzing what is happening. I'm telling a story, and that is exactly what you can do. Now, let's look at St. Kitts and Nevis. Hi, my people on St. Kitts and Nevis. Look at what happened in agriculture in 2002 and 2006. A considerable drop there. I'm also interested to know what exactly happened in there. And the hotel sector, they went a little bit up between 2002 and 2000, let's say 7. Okay, and then also I see a huge peak here in the public sector at the end of, let's say, 2011, going up. Okay, so why did that happen? Why did that happen? Other one, St. Lucia. Look at St. Lucia and look at the public sector. The public sector has been growing tremendously between 2000 and 2012. Now that must have impact on the expenditures of the government. Maybe also if we didn't have much more revenues, that means that probably the deficits went up. And as you see, we have analyzed in this series, we have analyzed the debt also of Curacao. So look at that previous episode that I run about the deficit and the debt and what happens if the deficit and the debt goes up. Now, by looking at the public sector here, I'm already analyzing that something must have happened with the expenditures. Now, at the same time, let's say the agriculture is almost flat in St. Lucia. The employment in agriculture is almost flat. And what you also see here is that there is a construction boom. Look at that. Between 2003 and 2006, there was a huge construction boom. More people in St. Lucia. So also, by looking at these graphs, what happened with the employment and the construction of in St. Lucia. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, look at that. We have construction, and it appears like St. Vincent and the Grenadines, there has been a huge construction increase during the 2000 till 2000, let's say 11. Look at that. The purple line increased considerably. While you see since 2003 to 2012-13, agriculture employment has been decreasing. Okay, and you see a little bit of development in hotels, restaurants, etc. I would have expected a much higher part. So look at what we can do. In this report, you will find also the reasons for these patterns. They are expecting it. Okay, so let me know if you want to know, you want to get this report. Now, let me go to you and ask you a question. We have seen that construction, hotels, the government, agriculture, we have seen employment, development. My question to you is, don't you think that the Eastern Caribbean needs to restructure their employment sectors? Because the future of work is different. The future of work is like in things like the blockchain economy. The future of work is things like artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is not demanding only people working agriculture, but it is demanding high-skilled employees. What kind of new sectors do you think you need to develop? For instance, renewables. We have not seen renewables energy. For instance, solar energy, wind energy, biofuel. We have not seen any of those new ways of working. Okay? So, don't you think that the Eastern Caribbean needs to create more jobs, more sustainable jobs in different sectors? Or do you think that they need to stay with agriculture, hotels, and construction, and the government? Okay? Another question. Don't you think that the jobs in the governments, they need to balance, they cannot increase too much? Because if the government, if there are a lot of people working in the government, compared to the private sector, that means that there are much more tax revenues needed to finance that. Okay, so that discussion is all over in the Caribbean. It's in the Turks and Caicos, it is in Jamaica, it is in the Eastern Caribbean, on Curacao. So I am wondering what you think about. By looking at that, you already see that there is a lot of data. So I have in my economic models more information, not only about that indicator, the employment, but also unemployment, the labor force, etc., etc., etc. So that's why I wanted to show you today how there is data. I don't want you to say anymore that there is no data. I want to debunk the myth that there is no data for the Caribbean. And if you want to stay in contact with me, just watch my next links where you can contact me. So I hope you liked this episode. This episode was about data in the Eastern Caribbean, about employment data, and also I've shown you where to get that data. Click in the link if you want this report of the IMF. It's a public report, and I can give it to you if you click in the link. And please answer my questions. Questions. So I'm going for more information for you, and I'm creating something really special, which has to do with all this data, which has to do with economic analysis, which has to do with creating policy, writing policies. I cannot believe that I'm going to do this, because it's going to be awesome, a one-time experience for 50 new people. So I want you to click on CaribbeanStrategicBoardroom.com/waitlist to let me know that you are interested in this. By clicking on that waitlist, it will not cost you anything. You will be part of my community, anything, but you will be the first one to hear about what I have for you, in store. And once you got in that list, I will tell you more about my story. I will tell you much more about what my expertise is, how I can help you with economic analysis in the Caribbean, and I will tell you more about why I am doing this, Actually, we are in a COVID-19 pandemic period. We don't know when that is going to stop. And then I want you to use data. I want you to be fact-based. I want you to make decisions based on data. If you are writing a policy note, if you are doing economic analysis, if you want to learn more about economic analysis, follow me during these days, because tomorrow at 4 o'clock I will be here again. 4 o'clock Atlantic Standard Time or Eastern Standard Time. I will be here with another data debunking story. We have covered the census data. We have covered the deficit and the budget data. If you have not looked at it, look at the previous report, the previous Facebook lives. Use your Facebook correctly. Use it by looking at informative data, by informative information. We have covered the balance of payments, and today we have covered employment. Okay, so employment, unemployment, you see it there. So see you tomorrow, same time, same place at 4 o'clock. See you. Bye.